what I'm talking about. We're back.
There we go.
Another week. Another week has passed. I'm Roger. That is.
Chris. Hey, how's it going?
We're here at the Armchair Sports. We got some exciting news. Can't share it with you right now, but we got some exciting news. Things starting to pop off. We're going to next week. We'll have somebody in studio. Watch our Facebook for this next week, and you'll see some of the things that are going to happen. We're trucking right along. Our TV show on NBC 40 is going pretty good. It's we just wrapped up another show, our 50th show, with them, and we've got a lot of things coming down the pipeline, don't we, Chris?
Yes, sir.
So it's getting exciting. This weird Armchair Sports, if you didn't realize that already. Well, you're on our Facebook. I'm thinking about the TV show. Go to our Facebook. Go to our YouTube page. That's what I want everybody to do. Go to our YouTube page, sign up, subscribe. What do they have to do on that, Chris? Just click.
Subscribe, like.
Just subscribe.
All the good stuff, yeah.
We have what? Give us the social media aspects of it. What all do we have?
Oh, well, we have Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube, and Facebook, of course.
And we're running. Are we simulcasting on two different Facebooks, or we're trying to get rid of one, or how's that working now?
Yeah, right now we're on the Armchair Sports profile page and on the Armchair Sports Talk Show group business page.
Oh, okay.
Business page, not the group page.
So is it coming? It's going to YouTube, and is it going to our Facebook?
YouTube.
I mean, our website.
Yeah, we should have it up on the website as well. I was just gonna look at that.
You don't have enough to do.
Sure.
Won't you click a couple more buttons?
I should do some more stuff.
Yeah, no kidding. So if you got any suggestions, some more. If you have any more suggestions, there you go. Send them to us. I don't want to do anything else. I just want to sit here. So Chris has more to do. Let's do that. What do you think? You think that'll be all right?
Chris has more to do.
So Chris has more to do.
That makes sense.
You say you don't have enough.
No,
all right.
Not at all.
Not at all. So what we're looking at, we're going to start transitioning into basketball. We're not going to do it this week, but probably next week, because we'll be down to the Final Four. We're at the Final 8 for the high school football this year. And so I think what we're going to do is we're going to give you a rundown today and kind of give you some backstories. Again, this is local. This is Georgia. So I'm only really covering some of the southern Georgia teams. We have, we have Brooks County, Pierce County, Irwin County, Bainbridge, Thomasville. And that one they call Lowndes County. They're still in the hunt, my friends. We picked them last week. Just about every one of them came true. There was no real upsets. Although there was a what do you call it? Fapu. What do you call that? Where they make a mistake. Anyway, what happened was somebody posted Lowndes County score, but they posted it wrong in the middle of the game, and said that Lowndes was losing like 29-3. I don't remember the exact score, but Lowndes was losing. And then, so there's this big thing saying that everybody thinks that Lowndes is losing and all this other stuff, that North Georgia doesn't like. Look, we're going to go through and we're going to start at 1A right now. It doesn't have anything to do with North Georgia, South Georgia. It's right here in black and white. There is, in every region in every division, from Class 1A to Class 7A, there is a South Georgia team in every one of them. Now, in some, there's more than one. But in most, there's only one. But South Georgia, to the Final 8 in each representation, there are Southern teams. So you've got to look at that fact. But you also have to look at some of that is there's 8 teams left. And there's only one in Region 7 from the South. Is North Georgia football better than South Georgia football? You have to be the answer to that. It's the makeup of the teams. It's the why they play the game. I'm not going to say whether one is better, North is better than South. All I'm going to do is give you the statistics. And the statistics on 7A right now. Let's go to 1A. let's do 1A. 1A, you've got Macon, which is north or middle. Then you got Turner County, Metters, Brooks County, which is south, Warren County, Manchester, Wilcox, Macon, and then you have Irwin. So in 1A, 2 teams are southern teams. What we call southern south would be down here in the south, like Lowndes and Valdosta and Clinch and Irwin and so on and so forth. So Irwin and Brooks. That's in 1A. So we've got 2 representations there. Irwin is going to be playing Macon. Irwin is, they're both number 1 seeds. Should be a really good ball game. And then with Brooks, this is odd. They're both number 2 seeds. Why is that odd? It's not, really. I just made that up. But both of the 2 seeds from that category are moving on. And then you've got the real weird one is you got Turner County, which is a 3 seed. Both of the 2 seeds from that category are moving on. A 1 seed, 46-13 in Class 1A. Was that lopsided or what? Does that mean that Turner County is way better than they were showing, or were they just prepared, or was Baldwin County just that bad? Or they thought they had it won, so they didn't show up. But they're going to play Metter, so Turner County's playing Metter. The 3 seeds playing the 1. Then you got 2 1 seeds on Macon and Irwin. Then you got 2 1 seeds on Manchester and Wilcox. So everything's pretty much going to Cinderella right now is Turner County at the 3 seed. That's in 1A. So we've had 2 in 1A out of 8. All right, we're going to go to, right now we've got, that's Brooks County, and we've got the stats on them. We'll come back to those in a minute. But let's look in 2A. 2A, you have 2 teams, again, from the south out of 8. You got Northeast, duh. What does that tell you? Swainsboro. That's Swainsboro's up north. Actually, it's kind of mid, right along that 16 corridor, I-16 corridor. And then you've got South Atlanta. Everybody thinks Atlanta is in the south. Atlanta is literally midway. Just like Macon is the halfway point, Atlanta is just north of that. So Atlanta, to some of us, would be called northern Georgia. But anybody says Atlanta, they think deep south. So,
well, it's the deep south of the United States, but not the deep south of Georgia.
True. Well, yeah, but then again, you think about, oh, Atlanta. I'm going to Atlanta because they're in South Georgia. They're not in South Georgia. They're actually 200 miles from the state line. So they're mid to North Georgia. Anyway, we digress.
I digress.
You digress. You digress us again.
I always digress.
So then you've got Fitzgerald and Putnam. Well, Fitzgerald actually is a 2 seed. So Fitzgerald is going against a 1 seed. They lost last week, or they won last week. They beat a 1 seed Putnam, who they weren't supposed to beat. So Fitzgerald in Class 2A is probably the Cinderella at this point, because everybody else, well, no, you've got North and Callaway. So then you got Thomasville. Of course, they're playing Rayburn, something like that, county. From
Rayburn?
Rayburn, is that Raburn?
Yeah, Rayburn.
Rayburn. So, yeah, I don't know it, so it's not down here. And if it is, I still don't know it. So anyway, you're looking at, right there you've got Thomasville and Fitzgerald. There's 2 teams in the South in AA. We'll get to the stats in just a minute. And then you're looking at 3A. You really only have 1 team from the South in 3A. You've got Pierce County. And Pierce County is a little not... They're not as south as Valdosta. People wouldn't call them south in Valdosta, but they're north of Valdosta, if you know what I mean. So they're about halfway to Macon. So, and that's really, you got 1 seeds pretty much, and Appling's a 2 seed. Peach County's a 2 seed going against Pierce County. So that'll be an interesting one. Honestly, that should be a good one. All right, in 4A, you've got 2 southern teams now. Benedictine, as I described last time, is over around Savannah. What do you think? If you talk Georgia, you think Savannah and Atlanta, right? That's what people from up north and out west always say. Oh, I see Savannah. That's in the South. Yeah, but it's not really in South Georgia. Benedictine's in South, in Savannah.
Savannah's West
So,
Georgia.
well, no, Savannah's East Georgia. It's right there on the coast.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah, that's what you said.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Uh-oh, I'm in trouble.
Well, geography isn't everybody's strength.
Yeah, this is true. And then you have Bainbridge. Bainbridge is actually playing. They're actually west.
They are west.
They are west. They're over by
I've got my bearings.
Alabama. You got your bearings. What?
I got my bearings again. It took me
Oh,
a
okay. That's
second.
what it was.
Yeah,
You
I
had to
have
get your sea legs.
I have to reacclimate to the North Pole.
Why are we in the North Pole?
No, but we have Christmas lights.
Not only that, aren't they pretty?
They are pretty.
They're pretty.
Even if I do say so myself.
But this morning, I mean, he keeps this studio at like 80 degrees in here, and I sweat every time I come in here. But this morning it was like what 39 degrees outside this morning.
It was chilly. It was chilly. Perfect hunting weather though.
Yeah. So when are we going?
Whenever you want to. I
Okay.
keep telling you to come over.
Yeah. And I never do. Yep. That's always
It's
my
all
fault.
right.
All right. So then we're gonna move on to 6A. 6A. Valdosta didn't get a chance to go because Valdosta has been sanctioned. So there is really nobody in the South. You got Lee County, which is Albany, but really nobody in the South that we actually talk about or go through or any of that stuff. So we're just going to pass right by them. Now here's what everybody wants to hear about, except for the Brooks County folks, and we're going to get back to you guys in just a minute. I'll tell you what, before we do the Lowndes County and we do that whole 7A thing, 7A, whatever you call it, let's go back to Brooks County. What do you think?
That sounds good.
We'll go back to Brooks County, and let's look at some of Brooks County stats real quick. Some of Brooks County stats. Their overall stats for the season, and this will account for one game, 2 games in the playoffs now. They have a total passing yards of 1,933. They had a total rushing yards of 2,593 rushing yards. Yeah, 2,593 rushing yards. Receiving yards, they've got 1,923 total receiving yards. So what that's telling you is they're pretty much even. They pass the ball and run the ball. That's what makes people, what I want to say, that's what makes it even, because your running attack actually helps your passing attack, and Brooks County's doing that. So 2,593 yards rushing. So Brooks County has good stats. They have a way to win this thing. They just have to stay simple. And what happens is people start try to get too pretty, try to get, and just stay to the basics. This point, your team knows how to play football. Yeah. You just have to know how to win at that point. So you got to this point because you have won. You've got to continue that. You've got to continue the way you were doing. But what people forget is we've got to go in there and we have to play football. We have to do the technique. Get away from all this, okay, we've got to learn something new this week. You don't. Play the same football, but change it in the same technique that you have. You just have to adjust to what they're bringing. That's it. Don't try to teach technique at this time of year. And that's where a lot of people have problems, where they try to change up the techniques and they try to change things and do things different. And so, all right, let's talk about the 7 real quick. You've got Milton versus Mill Creek. You've got Grayson versus Roswell. These are on the north end of the bracket. So the north end of the bracket, so either Milton, Mill Creek, Grayson, or Roswell will go to the Final Four. All right? So the question is, who do we think is going to go there? And then on the bottom, on the south part of the bracket, you've got Walton and Brookwood, Collins Hill, and Lowndes County. So if you look at these, you've got two seeds, which are Grayson and Roswell on the north end of the bracket. You got Milton, a 1 seed, and you got Mill Creek, a 2 seed. Mill Creek just beat a 1 seed, and so did Grayson, and so did Roswell. So that means they played above what they should have. Right now, Milton is still in the driver's seat because they're still the 1 seed. I think Milton has the best chance of making the state championship at this point out of those teams. And the reason is because they're, number one, they're the 1 seed. But number two, they've played at a higher level than most of the other two. Now, has Grayson, Roswell, and Mill Creek, have they been able to, what's the word I'm looking for? Have they just played above their norm one time, which was this past week, and that's what everybody's going to think. So let's look at the southern brackets. Brookwood and Walton. I think Brookwood is going to walk all over Walton because Walton's a 3 seed. I think the game they won last week, they just barely won it. And no, they didn't. I'm sorry. It was 34 to 7. So they actually showed some pretty good. They showed some pretty good football there. So what you're doing is you're looking at the number 1 seed playing the number 3 seed. Brookwood's ready to play. I don't know. I just don't see Walton beating Brookwood. I just don't see it. But then you're going to get to Collins Hill and Lowndes County. All right, guys, we're putting Collins Hill and Lowndes County side by side. We just did this same thing for Florida State on our TV show, right? And we look at the comparables. And statistic-wise, which one's better? All right, so right now you're looking at Lowndes County passing is 2,230 yards. Passing. Collins Hill is 2,972. So, the passing game goes to Collins Hill. Right? So that's 1 for Collins Hill. The rushing yards, Lowndes has 2,360 rushing yards. Collins Hill only has 1,695. Rushing attack goes to Lowndes County. And a lot of that is their quarterback. Okay. So now let's put those right there side by side. So then you're looking at Lowndes County as far as, what is this? That's still rushing yards. So the rushing yards was still, it's 2,360. And the rushing, that's still there. Okay. So then the receiving yards. 2,219 for Lowndes. 2,972 for Collins Hill. So what does that do? That gives Collins Hill a statistical lead. Right?
Right.
All right. So now you're looking at, so far, Collins Hill on paper should win the ball game.
Yeah.
Okay? Just statistically. Looking at all-purpose yards. Overall, all-purpose yards total, Lowndes County has 5,490 total yards. Collins Hill has 5,279 total yards.
Wow.
So what does that tell you? Lowndes gets the lead on that one. Mm-hmm. But the total yardage is what's phenomenal here. It's within 200 yards.
Right.
After all the bouncing back and forth, and Collins Hill does this, and so statistically, total yardage right now, it's an even ball game because you'll have to give the total yards to Lowndes County.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that should be a pretty good ball game then.
Right. So far, but here's the difference. Here's going to be your difference. And I'm missing a sheet, so that's not going to be your difference. Your defense.
Right.
So your overall total points that you scored, as you noticed, they were pretty much the same.
Right.
which means their defense had to hold other teams to less points.
Yeah.
I don't have that statistic. I should have it, and I don't have it to what their total points or totals were on those, and that's my bad because that's part of this, and it just didn't work out this time. So, if you look at the overall offense, the thing with Lowndes County that I noticed with them is they have a tendency to be heavy up front, okay in the middle, and in the back they're not. I don't want to say they're not as good,
Right.
but I mean at the beginning of the year their number one defensive back went out with knee injury. He was out for a year. So the question is, the game on statistically it should come down to almost a tie score.
Yeah.
Now where are they playing the ball game? That's the next thing.
Right.
Their Lowndes is hosting this ball game in the Concrete Palace, so Lowndes' fans will be out.
Well,
But Collins Hill,
then, right?
Collins Hill travels really well.
Oh, well, yeah.
Then you have to look at, okay, who are the maximum players? Collins Hill has 2 or 3. We noticed on our other show, our college show, some of the players from Collins Hill and some of the players from Lowndes County going to the different schools. So that show will air, by the way, on Saturday morning. So the question is, whose better players are going to be there? I've always said this is going to be the game of the champion, to me.
Yeah.
I think this, and personally, I love Lowndes County. Mm-hmm. I love Valdosta. But I really think with what I've seen, now Lowndes has more yards.
Yeah.
This is going to be a difficult one, guys. I'm not really sure. I want to pick Lowndes. I want to be there for the Vikings. I want to be there for those guys.
Well, it goes back to what I was saying the other week. A lot of it's going to depend on the players and whether or not they have already decided in their minds, oh, we're going to beat them.
Right.
And if they get a big head about it,
it's over. It's over before it
then
starts.
it could be over. It could very well be over before it starts because as well as I do, you get a big head about something and then you wind up losing it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and you see that when we were going through the first parts of some of these.
Right.
Some of these, the 3 seeds beat the 1 seeds, and how did they do that? Because the one seed said, "Oh, we've already beat them once this year. We can do it again."
Right.
And so they were totally out of it.
Right.
I don't know. I'm really up in the air on this one, and I know I've got to make a decision, and I've been back and forth on this all day long. Because I know that Collins Hill is bringing a team into South Georgia.
Yeah.
I know Lowndes County is ready to play ball because they were able to get the game here. I think it is a real good possibility that the winner of this game plays in the state championship game, and it's going to be, I think this game right here is probably going to tell the tale. I'm sorry, but I'm going to go with Collins Hill on this one. I'm going to pull Collins Hill by maybe 2 points, maybe 1 point at the most. And the only reason I'm doing that is because your linemen, and this sounds bad because I know some of these kids. These kids are great kids, but I think it's an undersized offensive line, and they've been proving me wrong all year. And please go out there and prove me wrong now. I want you to prove me wrong. But the offensive lineman, I think, is undersized. I think Collins Hill has a larger defense.
Yeah. And
if Brown can get away from everything, then he's going to be the difference maker in the game.
Right.
But I don't know. I think Collins Hill just barely squeaks this one out. I want Lowndes to do great. I want them to play good. We've had them in our studio. But I've got to go with Collins Hill on this one, dude. And
go to our page and
go
to our page and talk about it.
If you don't like what I'm saying, I want to hear it. I want to see why.
Let's talk about it.
Why do you think Lowndes County is going to beat Collins Hill? I don't say just because you're a homer and you're from here and
Right.
and
No,
all that.
no.
Tell me why you think Lowndes County will beat Collins Hill.
Well, take into account the statistics
Yeah.
and then,
Well, and you
the
know what?
previous games and
Yeah.
everything. And make a decision based on that, not
Right.
just,
And
I'm from
that's-
there.
yeah,
you know.
exactly.
Like me, I like the colors of the team.
Yeah. So you pick that color. So yeah, and I'd like to hear from people and see what they say, because if you look at this statistically, Lowndes has maybe a little better a better passing game. A better rushing game or passing game than Collins Hill has. A better rushing game, passing game, receiving. It's just this one right here has tall tales of some kids that are going to be playing on the next level next year, and
It should
some
really
of the
be a good game.
it really should be. So
I mean,
go out here. They're going to be playing here in Lowndes County. So
Yeah.
go out and support your team. And
for sure.
there's not really much else to talk about, but you come on our Facebook, you go to any of our pages. Please let me know what you think, and just don't throw rocks at me at the end.
That's right.